Because they live in South Minneapolis, and their home and neighborhood is so excessively tear gassed that they got sick overnight. So, my time is here. Bug eyes, exactly. So we're here to demand more of the university, more than empty statements, and an end to the so-called political neutrality that they've used to not only not speak politically about this, but avoid divestment from weapons manufacturing companies, avoid divestment from Israel, and not support the workers during the Teamster strike this past fall. You know, like teachers, they keep asking me about online classes. What are your other professors doing about this? And it sucks that we as students have to be the ones to communicate that to our professors, that we have to be the ones to say what's happening in other departments, because this communication should be happening already. Our professors are working overtime to come up with plans for their own classrooms, when this is a process that we should be working on collectively as a community. And I know from a fact through conversations with some of you that your professors are not even offering online accommodations. That you're told that if you can't come in person, that you might as well quit the class. Is that fair? Is that fair? No. Is it fair for our fellow students who are afraid to leave their homes? No. Absolutely not. So before we get any further, there was a university moment of silence this morning, but I want to have another one here today, and I'd like to extend it beyond Alex Pretti, who was murdered this past Saturday. I also want us, in this moment of silence, to think of Keith Porter Jr., who was murdered on New Year's Eve, as well as Renee Nicole Good. I want us to think about the reported 32 people who died in ICE custody in 2025, the 6 who have died confirmed in detention centers this year, and those whose deaths have gone unjustly unreported as well. I want us to think about the 3 members of the Oglala Sioux tribe who are currently, to my knowledge, still being held hostage just 20 minutes from here. I want us to think of the people who have gone missing, people who have been brutalized, people separated from their loved ones. Please take this time to think about them and honor them all. As so many people have said the past couple of weeks, it's our love and support for each other that are going to keep us alive and connected through the few weeks. But all of those individuals and people and communities that I mentioned, they deserve more than just silence from us. They deserve our action. And they deserve our action now, immediately. And that means action from the administration, and that means action from all of us as individuals. Because every one of you has a skill, has something that you can offer to your neighbors, to your loved ones. And we all have to be out there in the streets, regardless of the cold, and that's why I'm so happy to see you all out here today. And again, as one of my friends who can't be here put it best, the best our president and university can manage after a community has been rocked by these continuous kidnappings and murders is shameful statements talking about the loss of university alum while doing actually nothing of substance to support immigrant students facing real violence at the hands of ICE. And mind you, this is the same university from 2003, since the start of ICE, to until last year, was letting ICE agents train in their gun range in Rosemont. And the only reason they stopped doing that last year is because we fucking found out about it, and we held them accountable. Our university has a long, violent history and is still invested in the same companies that run the herder communities today. They are complicit in the murder of those who I have mentioned, including Keith Porter, and Renee Good, and Alex Pretti, and all of the people who have been and continue to be victimized by ICE, and now is not the time for them to give us empty condolences and an endless outpouring of statements and refuse to even condemn ICE. For many of the communities here, I have friends who have to go to class with their passport in their backpacks because they're terrified of being stopped on the street. That's not fucking a thing. So we have a couple of speakers who are going to be coming up and talking about their organizations that they've been doing. I hope that maybe we can connect with one of them after this, or at least find out what we're doing, because it's important that we stay all informed. I'm going to introduce first up, this is Ben from GLUE, our graduate labor union.
Hey everybody, my name is Ben Lewis. I am the president of the Graduate Labor Union here at the University of Minnesota. Our union represents 4,000 graduate workers here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Duluth. We teach classes, run labs, grade papers, and drive cutting-edge research that happens at this university. While we stand here, the terror that the city has endured throughout the course of Operation Metro Surge continues. Our neighbors are being brutalized, beaten bloody by masked federal agents, people of color being grabbed off the streets. There are grad workers that refuse to sleep anywhere but their lab or office for fear of traveling home alone. And devastatingly, I cannot blame them. Our neighbors are showing up to work bruised and bloody. People are being kidnapped by an unaccountable federal force and sometimes not seen again. 5-year-olds are being grabbed off the street, and now 2 Minnesotans have been killed. One of them a University of Minnesota alum. In spite of the very clear and present danger that ICE's presence and occupation poses to our university community, the University of Minnesota has done precious little to ensure our safety. Instead, the university as a whole has resorted to tepid statements and largely non-tangible commitments, while its response to ICE's threat has been outpaced by individual departments and schools within the university. The gravity of this situation, however, requires a well-thought-out, concrete response from the university system as a whole. While the addition of policy making many buildings on campus have access, giving many classes the ability to move hybrid formats is a welcome change, these policies do not go far enough. As the situation in our city continues to escalate, we call on President Cunningham, the University of Minnesota, to 1, issue an official statement explicitly declaring that ICE is not welcome on campus, and affirming the university administration keeping the campus community safe. 2, temporarily suspend building access and requiring all hours U-Card cap access for all university buildings throughout the duration of Operation Metro Service. Posting clearly visible signage at the entrance of all university buildings which explicitly affirms that the building in question is private property, communicates cap access policy, and states that ICE and other law enforcement agencies are prohibited from entering the building without a valid judicial warrant that must be shown to a designated university staff member or official. Formally prohibiting ICE and other federal immigration authorities from using university-owned property, such as parking areas and open lots, for staging or other immigration enforcement purposes, in keeping with the guidance from the city of Minneapolis. Committing UNPD and other campus authorities to enforcing the aforementioned trespass prohibition in the event that ICE attempts to stage on university-owned property. Requiring training on the aforementioned policies and procedures for all university staff and employees. And finally, a shutdown on Friday 1:30 in observance of the day of action called for by the Somali Student Association of the University of Minnesota and other student organizations. Now, a lesson that involvement in this union has taught me is that these demands are not going to be given to us. Demands are met when they are made by well-organized, principled, and disciplined movements. That's why I'm here today, to ask you all to join this union in these demands, to merge our collective strength together, and demand safer working and learning conditions. Discuss these demands with your colleagues and other community members. Bring them into your classrooms, your labs, your departments, your social circles. Do not assume this university will act of its own accord to protect you or your community. If there's anything the previous weeks and years have shown us, the people with the leverage of power of this university will not lift a finger to protect us until it's far too late. That's right! As always, it must be the workers, the students, the community members that drive this change. That's why I know these demands are in good hands. Because for the last few months, while our university has been cutting deals with the Prairie administration that has unleashed this hell in our streets, that's what this community's been up to. Fighting! That's right. The workers and students of our city have set up mutual aid networks to make sure that those who are too terrified to work right now don't go to bed hungry. The workers and the students of this city have been patrolling the neighborhoods, wielding whistles to alert their neighbors to ICE's presence. The workers and students of this city have been putting themselves at risk, following ICE vehicles around the city to document kidnappings. The workers and students of this city sat down and got hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans in the streets on a cold Minnesota January Friday. And it was workers and students of this city that have turned out over the last weeks and on Sunday and Saturday to mourn the loss of our neighbors, Alex Pretti and Nicole Good. All of that was not orchestrated by the folks in the corner offices in Morrill Hall. That's right. It was this. It was this community that did that. You're not asking for anything extraordinary here, right? You're demanding a basic obligation of an institution that claims to value its people, to protect those who live, work, and learn here. If the university will not act of its own conscience, then it must be compelled to act by the collective power of its community. That's right! We deserve a university of Minnesota that's committed to keeping every community member safe. Join us in helping build that university together. Thank you so much.
Testing. All right, wonderful. Now you all just heard about the failures of the university administration, but I want to address the state government next, because there are some issues there as well, unfortunately. As you all know, yesterday morning, the federal forces occupying our city executed another civilian observer. This brutal, inexcusable murder, like that of Renee Good, was carried out in broad daylight in the middle of the street in front of dozens of other observers by a violent, hyper-militarized agency sent to enforce the will of empire and an unruly population. Alex Pretti, an ICU nurse and UMN graduate, was savagely beaten, pistol whipped, and shot almost a dozen times by ICE while attempting to assist a woman who was also being attacked. Pretti, like Good before him, was not, despite the rhetoric of the American regime and its state media outlets, a violent domestic terrorist, but rather, he was a kind-hearted, peaceful observer, trying his best to legally defend the community which he loved from the brutal government enforcers roaming its streets. That's right! And as horrible as Pretti's murder was, we must continue to keep in mind that when these federal enforcers feel comfortable in slaughtering white, middle-class citizens like Pretti and Good in broad view of the entire nation, it is a terrible thing to imagine what they are doing to the impoverished, undocumented people of color they kidnap and lock away in their concentration camps throughout Texas and Florida, where cameras cannot reach and the only news the country receives are the medical reports of men being strangled to death, women being systematically raped, and children suffering alone in their cells. This is what ICE does, and it is what we have come to expect from them. They are kidnappers, they are rapists, and they are murderers, and they have no place on our streets. They are a violent, entitled paramilitary force recruited directly from a swath of racist militia groups in order to aid the ailing American regime in its efforts to brutalize and terrorize people of color in the heart of empire. If there is any such thing as a legitimate law enforcement body in the U.S., it is clearer now than ever that ICE is not such a body. When considering law enforcement bodies, however, it is essential to remember that although the federal apparatus may draw significant attention to the few instances of token resistance put up by state officials, it only does this as a factor of consent among states for the deployment of municipal occupying forces. Not because the Democrats or any state agencies like the MPE or the SBO have actually offered significant resistance to the militarized federal killers searching for victims on our streets. In fact, these agencies have appeared all too eager to fall in line with what the federal agent desires, suppressing protests, arresting and brutalizing protesters, and pressing charges against activists for the crime of speaking up. Local and state police departments have protected ICE every chance they get, standing guard at the Whipple, shielding their hotels from noise demos, and swarming in their dozens to crack down on rioters in the aftermath of every new ICE murder. Democrat politicians, meanwhile, have also not stepped in to protect us from the vicious occupying force roaming our streets, but rather they have urged us to remain impotent and complicit, to tone down our rhetoric, and to protest only in non-destructive, police-approved manner. This reality has, unfortunately, been obvious to those of us who recognize the Democrats and the DFL for what they are, something of a controlled opposition party designed to placate the people of America with the illusion of choice. This may be a difficult pill to swallow for those of you who still wish to believe that the Democrats will help us. But we have seen, time and time again, that they will not be the ones to save us. ICE, although its brutality has gained much more media attention under Trump than under the Democrats, was still funded by the Democrats. They gained funding increases every time the Democrats had the chance to give them a funding increase. They gave it to them. Donald Trump, although the blood of Good and Pretti certainly stains his cankered hands, is not some unique evil who has taken America hostage. Donald Trump is simply a particularly abrasive and incompetent individual whose bluster and bravado has had the effect of exposing aspects of the American regime that the Democrats and more competent Republicans were intelligent and coordinated enough to keep under wraps from the underlying motivations of American foreign intervention to the true nature of American law enforcement apparatus. The federal occupations of cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and now Minneapolis are thus nothing more than a panicked, disorganized attempt by a failing empire to crush the awakened population back into the dirt, a crackdown so violent and haphazard that our ailing government has resorted to extrajudicial street killing to terrify us, both citizens and otherwise, back into silence, fear, and complicity. Shame! In conclusion, I'd like to address Governor Walz and Mayor Frey directly. You have not resisted ICE. You have not resisted the federal government. All you have resisted is the will of your own people. Your civil your MPD, your sheriff, your guardsmen have thrown me and my comrades in jail, gassed with meat, and peppered us with munitions in the streets, and pressed charges against us for the crime of protesting the very federal occupiers you claim to oppose. ICE does not need more oversight. ICE does not need more training. ICE does not need body cams or mask bans or markings on their vehicles. ICE needs to be abolished in total and mercilessly prosecuted. Buckeye! And to all of you, gathered out here in the cold, continue the general strike starting on the 30th. Build alternate structures of power. Don't just critique Trump and the government. Don't even stop at critiquing capitalism as a whole. If we are to win, we all must look into and educate ourselves on genuine alternatives to our current models of power and governance. The pigs are organized, and we must be too. Thank you. Buckeye!
When I say chinga, you say amiga. Chinga! Amiga! Chinga! next speaker. First of all, we handed out these little quarter sheets. Some of you might have gotten them. And there's some typos on them that I must address immediately. First of all, we're going to be, if you've seen the Graduate Hotel that's just down there on Washington, has been hosting ICE agents now for several weeks. Fuck that! And when employees have asked about it, they've been told, guys, this is what we expected. Just treat them like any other guest. What the fuck? So we've been down there pretty consistently holding noise demos, which is something that we are inspired to do by our friends over at Sunrise Movement Twin Cities. It's a pretty fun time. You should come out. We're having another one. The flyer said January 26th, but we wanted to say January 28th, this Wednesday at 8 p.m. And second of all, we're going to be having a decontamination training. As you've been seeing, if you've been out on the streets, they've been using a lot of different chemicals. They've been using tear gas. I forget the name of the long green gas, but it's fucking terrifying. If you want to know how to better help your friends on the streets, how to help yourself if you are caught in those situations, we're having a little training about it Friday, January 30th, 4 p.m. and 216 Pillsbury. So come out to that. Anyway, now I'm going to be introducing our next speaker. This is our speaker from Students for Justice in Palestine. We're going to talk about the connections between the fight in Palestine, the fight here with ICE. Give it up.
Hi everybody, I'm Amro Heshmat. I'm a student and activist, I guess. And I'm a student here at the University of Minnesota. I'm a board member for SJP. And I just, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being out here in this like ridiculous cold. It is brutal out here. Everybody's faces are red, our fingers are about to freeze off, but everybody's out here regardless. It's really incredible to see. All of you guys are out here today speaking truth to power, using your voices for good, loudly and proudly. Standing up against the cruelty, violence, and hatred Donald Trump and his gang of thugs have brought to our city. In December 2025, the federal government initiated Operation Metro Surge, during which thousands of DHS agents have terrorized our streets, destroying families, arresting and abducting children, and executing American citizens in broad daylight. And those very same people will call us hateful. They'll call us rioters, or agitators, or even terrorists, all for the sin of standing up against brutality. But we know their playbook. We've seen this before. And it could not be clearer that we are here out of love. Love for our community, love for our neighbors, love for each other. ICE has no place in our city, and we are here today to scream it from the rooftops. And we will not stop until our voices are heard, from the mayor's office to the White House. We will not stop until ICE is out of Minneapolis and out of this country. For the last 3 years, we watched in horror and anger as our government enabled a genocide, destroying the Palestinian people and murdering thousands in Gaza. Now, this same structure of violence has settled in our home, in our streets. We, the people, have never stood for this violence. When thousands filled the streets for the Palestinian people, we were told our voices didn't matter, that our cause was too difficult, too dangerous, too risky to stand up for. Now, we face the same resistance. We are the undesirables, the pariahs that are bold enough to stand up for truth and justice instead of buckling under the knee of authoritarianism. On January 7th, ICE murdered an innocent woman, Renee Good, for the crime of caring for her neighbors. On January 24th, ICE murdered an innocent man, Alex Pretti, for the crime of protecting his community. These deaths are just a few examples of ICE's cruelty, of their inhumanity. how many more will die before we get more than strongly worded letters and empty speeches from our leaders here in Minneapolis? Trey, Waltz, and Rebecca Cunningham have made it clear their priorities are not standing up to Trump and his secret police, but instead subduing the rightfully angry people of this city. We reject this call. We will continue to make our voices heard, to speak out, to fill the streets, because they've made it clear they won't. Over the last 3 weeks, our community has shown unprecedented bravery, resilience, and decency in the face of adversity. As our government lies to our faces and tells us to deny reality, we must stay true in the fact that we must stay steadfast in truth. And the truth is that the structures of power have always tried to hold us down. The truth is that ICE was sent here to cause chaos and violence, not for the pursuit of law and order, but to break us down, to beat us into submission. Because the establishment knows we will not take this lying down. We've been in this position before. Whether it's standing up against genocide abroad, racially motivated murders at home, or immigrants being black-bagged and disappeared off the street. We have always resisted and done everything in our power to make it known. We will not allow this violence to carry on. Our voices will not be silenced. We will persevere. I leave you all with a quote by singer Ephraim Munek. The soldiers with their specialists and the pigs with their guns cannot stop the lost ones and the desperate ones and the driven ones. So come on, friends, to the barricades again.
Down with ICE! 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 our next speaker from Ask Me.
My name is Max Bass. I am a clerical worker here in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. I'm also the president of Ask Me Local 3800. We represent about 2,000 clerical, technical, and healthcare workers across the state of Minnesota and at all 5 campuses of the University of Minnesota. I was heartbroken but unsurprised when I woke up on Saturday morning to the news that ICE agents had murdered another one of our neighbors, Alex Pretti. Alex was a friend, a neighbor, an activist, a University of Minnesota alum, an ICU nurse who cared for vulnerable veterans, and a union member. We, as union members, know the true meaning of solidarity, standing arm in arm with anyone who is under attack, building collective power to keep us all safe, and improve our lives, mutual care, and trusting our neighbors. Alex was enacting those values when he had his life so brutally stolen from him. The deaths of Alex Pretti, Renee Good, Keith Porter, and Aaron Bushnell before them should wake every single one of us up to the reality that hundreds of years of American imperialism and domestic racial violence can no longer be shrouded from folks who look like me. The skills American military personnel and police have learned by brutalizing communities across the globe and at home are being turned on anyone who defies fascism. Let this moment move you to action. A lot of people here know that I lived in Palestine in the West Bank for 3 years. So unfortunately, the occupation of our cities is unnervingly familiar to me. The tear gas, the quote, less than lethal munitions, the sound grenades, the brutalization of people in the streets, the murder of people in the streets, and the immediate ransacking of their dead bodies. I learned a lot of what I know about solidarity, resistance to empire, and steadfast perseverance from Palestinians, from resistors, mothers, youth, and leaders. The most important thing I learned was that rage has a place and can move us to action, but sustained survival of our values and long-term commitment to taking on fascism requires hope, love, and solidarity. So let your rage out. It is justified in this moment. Let it move you to action. And do not lose sight of why we are in this work, to build a better world. 10 months ago, I wrote these steps. It was those steps. 10 months ago, I stood on those steps over there, alongside GLU leaders and hundreds of members of our university community, to demand that Rebecca Cunningham and university leadership take proactive action to protect our university community from the threat of ICE in the wake of an abduction of one of our graduate students. We have repeatedly asked the university for clear answers and a transparent strategy to protect the campus community. We have asked what areas of campus are designated as private and how those boundaries will be enforced. We have asked whether university will commit in writing to not share employee or student information with ICE or DHS unless legally compelled to do so. We have asked whether UNPD and university security will intervene if ICE breaks the law or trespasses. We have asked for mandatory university-wide Know Your Rights trainings for all staff and students, and we have asked for what support exists for students or workers who are afraid to come to campus or are detained. I am profoundly disappointed to be here yet again, nearly a year later, to echo these same concerns as the University of Minnesota continues to fail in its most basic responsibility, protecting the people who work, learn, and seek care here. We are now living with the consequences of the universities and the state's inaction. Our members have already reported sightings of armed ICE agents near campus, staging just across the street from their workplaces. The university is allowing agents to sleep on campus comfortably in the graduate hotel. Frontline staff have been left to figure out for themselves how to respond if masked armed agents show up at their buildings. Members of our union who work as security guards have received little to no guidance on how to interact with ICE, what authority they have, or what procedures to follow. Healthcare workers report that patients are canceling their medical appointments because they feel like sitting ducks in our clinics. Teachers have told us that parents are keeping children home from university-affiliated childcare programs because they do not feel safe. And staff at those centers report feeling frightened for the safety of the children in their care. It is only a matter of time before violence strikes another member of our campus community. Today, we stand together with GLU and other unions and campus groups to issue our joint demands to the University of Minnesota, which Ben has already so eloquently enumerated. We are inspired by the bravery and organizing of members of our union and our community who are stepping up to fill the gaps that the university has left. But individual action cannot replace institutional responsibility.
That's right.
Workers, students, patients, and families should not have to improvise their own safety. We call on all workers, students, and the community to join us in the fight. Get involved, whether through your union, community organizing efforts, or student groups, or by continuing to show up in support of workers and students. As Ben said, these demands are so necessary to our safety. These demands that are so necessary to our safety will never be met without a collective and well-organized movement of students and workers. We must continue to demand together a safe campus. Until the university acts, none of us are truly safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Thank you.
Let's give it up for Max! Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Woo! I'm gonna make do with this one. Okay. Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
Boots! Boots!
Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
So we don't have a last speaker for today. We have a statement though, and it's a statement from Vicente, our Latinx Cultural Center, just home in Kaufman, across the way over here. They really wanted to be here to speak today, but a lot of their members don't feel comfortable doing so, because a lot of them have very personal connections to this site and fear for their safety. And so if you'll bear with me today, I have a statement from Vicente that I'm going to read out. If you guys could listen, that would be great. Dear Vicente and LSCC community, before we begin, we want to acknowledge and sincerely apologize for not being present here today as a full community. This was not an easy decision. At this moment, our community is carrying deep fear, grief, and uncertainty. The heightened presence and action actions of ICE have created an environment where many undocumented, mixed status, and immigrant families no longer feel safe moving through their daily lives, including on college campuses, which should be places of learning, refuge, and belonging. Members of our community are being asked by their own parents to stay off campus. Students are weighing their education against their safety. Families are living with the constant anxiety their routine day could end in separation or harm. This is not normal, and it is not acceptable.
That's right.
Mi Gente stands firmly with immigrant communities who are being disproportionately targeted and traumatized. We reject fear as a governing tool and affirm that our community deserves dignity, protection, and the right to exist without discrimination. Safety should never be conditional, and humanity should never be politicized. We call on our institutions and leaders to take meaningful action to protect vulnerable communities, to listen to those most affected, and to ensure that campuses remain spaces where all students can learn without fear of surveillance, detention, or violence. To our community, you are not alone. Your fear is valid, your lives matter, and your voices deserve to be heard, even when it's not safe to speak them out loud. Gente will continue to advocate, support, and stand in solidarity with those impacted. We choose care over silence, protection over complacency, community over. Our speaker program today. But before we go, I want to remind us of those dates again. Thank you to all the supporters and all of you for coming out here, even though it's cold as hell. And also for all of our wonderful speakers who came today. I want to end firstly by saying that again, all of these organizations are free for you all to join if you so choose. Otherwise, there are so many things that you can do as individuals to show up for each other. Learning your neighbors is a great start. I went to one of the vigils over the weekend over in Van Vliet Park, and it was wonderful to actually get to talk to people. I live in Dinky, so it was lovely to get to meet people who I live right next door to and talk about the ways that we can show up for each other, because it can be as simple as standing out in your neighborhood, learning people's names, learning what foods they like, what you can bring to them. But it's incredibly important that we do something, because they want us to do nothing. And if we do nothing, more and more people are going to die, more and more people are going to be brutalized, and we cannot fucking afford that to happen. So, ICE remains at the Graduate Hotel. Shame. Yeah, we'll be back there at 8 p.m. this Wednesday, so please join us if you're interested. Additionally, reminders, January 30th in 216 Pillsbury, we're going to be having a decontamination training for those who are worried or want to learn more about how to deal with the fuck-ass chemicals they've been spraying on protesters. And please keep an eye out. We're the most active on our Instagram, but we'll try to flare more around campus. We're UMN SDS. The organizations here today, we had AFSCME, we had GLUE, we had SJP. Mi Gente, YDSA, Flatted to see couldn't make it out. There's so many organizations on this campus that we work with, that we care about, that we're friends with. We gotta stick together, we gotta show up for each other. I want to finish with one more chant. I think. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? here. So if you want to write messages on the sidewalk, whether they be anti-Cunningham or pro-community, go ahead, knock yourselves out.
Hi, Juliet, right? Yeah. From Tyler Church. Hey. How are you doing? Good. How are you? I am tired. I was wondering if there's anyone I can speak with.
Yes, they got serious guys. Let me see if the best person has to be or something. Riley.
Oh my sign, thank you so much. How did the water park get? Thank you.
What's up? How you doing? Good. How about you? I'm fucking cold.
Hi, you're involved in SDS, right?
You know the
Awesome.
deal,
All right.
right?
Well, firstly, thank you for doing this.
Okay.
Really, really awesome. Secondly, I'm an organizer for a mutual aid network out of campus. Yeah, so I'm also just kind of leading some stuff with ICE controls on campus. If you want, I'd be happy to just like, do you guys have like an email I can kind of like shoot information about regarding that? Okay. I do have Instagram. Do you want me to forward stuff to Instagram? Cool. Got it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just shoot you an Instagram when I get back home this afternoon.
Or is it in
Joe.
Bales?
Great Israel building. So I'll, we're just basically